right, wait till everybody can get over here. Hopefully, you can hear me now. Yay, we've got somebody here. People. Oh, wonderful. Okay, sound is good. Something hung up in there then, so sorry about that. And yeah, my lighting is a little bit yellow just because it's getting dark. And I don't have enough lamps to put in this room. So, hey, Jackie Long. Sarah and Debbie, thank you for being here. I hope everybody else is going to come back in who was here before. Do you think everybody knew? I tried to, there we go. Hey, Sean. Yes, here we go. Take two. Woo-hoo. Alicia, you're here. Hello. Eliza, hello. Oh, good. You can hear me. That's wonderful. You're buffering a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm in Chrome, but let me knock out Safari here because it has been giving me hugs again to you too, Connie. Hello. You're watching the other stream. I was like, why can't I comment? I know. Nobody can hear me either. So, oh, good. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on lately, but it's been strange. Really, really strange. All right. So how is everybody doing? We got, I talked to you guys last Monday night, and a new storm was coming in, and I had just spent a couple hours right before the live getting out winterizing, trying to get as much done as I could. And then I got out the next morning. The storm was starting, and I was out there outside for about 3 hours. And I was out there in the garden working while it's snowing and it's coming down. At first it was kind of light, and those are the pictures that are on my Instagram at this point. But I don't want to see that. I want to see you guys. And so I finished. I was just like soaking wet because the snow was kind of wet at that point in time, and it was just it was like coming down my shirt, at my neck, and it was just crazy. But I got all of my tomato plants pulled and the stakes. I got my comfrey all cut up and trimmed and laid out. I got quite a few things that I was raking. I was raking leaves with about 3 inches of snow on the ground, but I knew where the leaves were that were kind of heavy and everything. And so I'm out there raking snow combined with leaves, but I mean, at least it doesn't blow the leaves around, right? So you pack it with snow. So I'm raking piles and piles of it and then dumping it into my beds and trying to have something there, and then laying the stakes down top of it so things don't blow away. And it was just, I ended up getting 9 inches of snow. 9 inches of snow on Tuesday, and we got maybe another inch or two since then. And it was crazy. Oh, Sean, that's cute. Oh, snow's been crazy, but next week, I know, Eliza, it looks like it's going to be beautiful. We're supposed to have days in the 30s and 40s, like mid 40s, sometimes upper 40s, and sunny, and even a few days that don't even get below freezing at night. So I'm hoping that all the snow will melt and I can get out. Because guys, okay, it's just, hey Julie, hello. This morning it was 17 degrees. Yep. Oh, yesterday's snow is now gone. Okay. Yeah, it was chilly this morning too here, but it's gonna do enough. So your AC is still in your window. I know, Kiri. I can't tell you how many years that in taking it out and putting it in, will be running the heat within 24 hours, sometimes even within 12 hours. the air conditioning needs to be either in or out. So it's like running the air, got to pull it out, and the heat in the furnace goes on. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Hey, Henry's honey. Hello. It's 36. Wow. Okay. You had snow a week ago yesterday and then gone rain this weekend. Okay. You got your power back on, Julie? Yay! I'm excited. Well, it's okay. I had to do a second take on this, so we'll just have to go 5 minutes late, right? Oh, yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, I got the essentials done before the storm really hit last week, and it was like, okay, if the snow piles on and stays, I'll be okay. I mean, there were a lot of things I didn't get done that I wanted to get done, but the things that had to get done, I got done. So anyway, with the temps coming up, I think everything's going to melt, and it'll give me a few more days that I can get some things done outside. I'm hoping, because, oh yeah, I was starting to taste. Hey, Patty, hello. I ordered some garlic from 2 or 3 different places this fall, and I had gotten one bulb a month ago or so. Well, all the rest of them came in this week. I'm like, are you serious? It's like, I've got, 9 inches of snow out there. It's like, and I've got all this garlic now. Well, with this weather coming up, so I'm hoping that, the grass was still green. I had piled all those leaves in, mulched everything. Then we got snow right away, and the ground hadn't frozen yet. So I'm hoping that what came down actually kind of insulated everything, so it won't be frozen yet. So I'm hoping I can still get out there and plant. So that sounds good, Patty. Can we come over for dinner? Oh, I know, Sarah. Oh man, because I've got probably, what do I have? 6 or 8 bulbs that I paid for. And I mean, it's expensive to get that. And I'm like, I don't want to just, use it in my cooking. It's like I got it to plant. So I'm hoping that I can get out there, snow will melt. I can get out there and still bury it deep, mulch it really, really well, and hopefully it can go on. I also have tulip bulbs and some other kind of bulbs that I was going to plant this year, and then, I had to end up doing emergency, winterizing of that whole bed, and so I'm like, okay, I just thought I was gonna just have to throw those away, but hopefully not. You put a fence in yesterday. It was still very soft ground. Oh, good. Well, that's what I'm counting on, because it was very soft when the snow came down. Shayla, hello. Oh, so good to see you. So wonderful to see you. So we got a little bit later start because I had sound problems here. So, oh, I know, Sarah. I know. I had one year, my sister went to Holland and brought back a couple bags of some Dutch Holland bulbs, tulip bulbs. And I was just like, oh, they were so beautiful. But, they only last a few years until they finally kind of fizzle out. So every 2 to 3 years, I have to plant some more. And so I put in maybe a dozen new ones every year, just kind of rotating around and everything. So I'm excited about some new ones this year. All right. Our main topic for tonight are apples. So who here is like in the middle of apple abundance right now? Just like say I am, or put a hand up or something like that. Here it started really at the end of August, and September is like our heavy apple month, but they're still going this month for October. And I mean, not only in the stores, but however, with all this snow, I think everybody had to pickle had to pick them early. And so, but orchards have stocks of them in their buildings and everything. So for Alicia, it's apple season. You're jarring sauce right now. That's right. You are, Debbie. So I know probably much of the United States has apples coming through. So I don't know if apples grow very well in the South. Not sure, but across the North, it's been really good. And I know like Washington, Oregon are huge. Michigan area is huge. We have lots of orchards here in Minnesota. Actually, everybody's favorite, the Honey Crisp apple, came from Minnesota. So, and I know like a huge percentage of the real popular apples were actually developed at the University of Minnesota. So we can be kind of proud of that, that we created the Honey Crisp. So anyway, those are some amazing apples. And those are actually the longest storing apples too. And I think that's why everybody loves them. I mean, they're great flavor too and everything, but they store so well. They last a long time. They said in storage, they can last 6 to 8 months. So think about that when you're planting trees that you want to have produce, the different apple trees, and which are always excellent to have on your homestead, whether you're in town and just have a yard like I do, or if you've got some property that you're thinking about planting a dozen trees or something. The apple trees are excellent. And I know that, people like to plant the pear and the peach and have a good variety of fruits, which is excellent, but always try to have apples, because we're going to go through a bunch of stuff that, some things that I didn't even know we could do, and which is really kind of exciting. So Pink Lady, yes. Okay, they're good stores, yes. You have some from the orchards, but you're getting more Friday. My very, very favorite orchard, and I had the link in the other view, so I'll have to go back and get it. Let me see here. Get this one here. It's Applejack Orchards, and it's probably about 15 miles maybe from my parents, so where I grew up, and Hood River, Oregon has beautiful apples and a festival. Fun festival too. So thanks for coming back here. I appreciate it. So this is like my favorite local orchard, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So they've got not only the orchards and like a whole huge pumpkin patch, and you can take train ride, train rides to call them. It's really like a tractor pulling little train cars type of thing through the orchards, taking rides. And there's a kids thing, and they've got this huge store, and they've got like a cafeteria there too. And kind of it's bigger than a cafe deli type of thing, so it's lots of tables, and you can feed a lot of people there. Anyway, they end up having just apples like all over the place. So this year, right now until Sunday, I think, through Saturday. Anyway, I'm heading down to my folks or my dad's on Friday. So I'm hoping that I can leave early and head over to the orchard, because they close at 5. And I'm going to go and get some more apples. But I love it. And they have got a buy one, get one deal going on right now. So I think that's 9 to 5 to life. How are you, Chad? Thanks for coming in. You're hoping to get some apple picking soon while you still can. Awesome. Yakima Valley is where you get your apples. Nice. Yeah, so I did pick my trees. I've got 3 apple trees. One is a Macintosh, which is the first one to ripen. And I picked those and I made, I think it's a small tree. It's still early on, but I'm thinking it's maybe 7 years old or something. Um, Only got enough to make 4 quarts of apple pie filling. So I've got my apple pie filling that I made from my Macintosh apples. It's really exciting to be able to have these that you don't spend any money on, like this. And then today I just processed from my middle-sized tree, which are the Connell Reds. And so those are some really nice apples. They're nice white flesh, and usually pretty disease resistant and everything too. And so today I made, I steamed them. I'm going to show you. I steamed them in my steamer for the very first time. So you can juicer. This is the first time I used it, so I didn't film it because I wanted to figure out how it worked and everything. And so if I can get some other apples, I will try to do some more juice and film it for you guys so I can show you how it works. But I got 4 pints of juice out of, what did I have? I had a basket that was a half a bushel and it was maybe 2/3 full. So what would that be, about a third of a bushel? So I got 4 pints of juice, and I've got about 2 quarts or so of apple butter that are in the crock pot right now. So, and I could just make applesauce straight from the leftovers after, because after it cooks down, this is the top part here. So the apples just go in here, and then it steams, because the other part is a steamer, and then it collects the juice in here, and then comes out that nifty little hose. And this is the one item I treated myself on this year. So it was like, I wanted one for years and years and years. And actually, I prefer the old-fashioned cider presses, but those are really expensive, and I don't have any place to store those. So this is my alternative in doing that. So, a pickup load of bad apples for the pigs. Oh, sweet. Okay. You folks lived treetop. Oh, nice. Jackie, I try to, oh yes, my garden and my trees are all organic. Everything I grow here is. So, and I try to eat organic as much as I can too. Your roommate did apple pie filling for us with apples you were given. Nice. Steamer envy happening. No, it was so nice. And you just have it in there, and about half an hour or so, 40 minutes, it just starts juicing, and just put the hose down, put the jar right under there, and it just fills up with this gorgeous golden juice. And I would have brought it in, but it's still sitting from being canned. And so then all the apples that were sitting in the top are all mush. And so I just shoved them through a strainer, and it was like perfect, beautiful applesauce. And so I've been wanting to do some apple butter, so I actually turning that into apple butter. I have it in the crock pot right now, and I'll can it tonight. So I'm going to do probably 4-ounce and 8-ounce jars. I'm doing some different things, but yeah, I'm so excited. It just smells so good in here. Oh my goodness. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the apples at this point. So yeah, I'm doing it. And so anyway, all the apples that came off my third tree, which are my Harrelson apples, they were in the bushels for too long. I had about 1.5 bushels of those, and almost 2 bushels, and I just had them stored in the house, and they were, with mom in the funeral and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I never got to them, and they started going bad really quickly. And even though they're supposed to be good stores, they didn't like it sitting in the dining room, I guess. It's too warm for them or something. So anyway, so I had to throw them. And I couldn't find anybody who needed apples, and I just had to get them out of the house because the fruit flies were getting so bad. And so anyway, kind of sad about that, but I've gotten some other things from my apples, which I'm really happy about. Grammy Karen, hello. Thanks for coming in. Chad, you missed the part of what you do with the steamed juice part. Okay, in the steamer, okay, the apples, the cut up apples, you have to core them, and then I just chunked them up. I used one of those little gadgets, that the wedge thingies, and they just all go in the strainer part, and you can fill it up almost to the top. And then so you've got this bottom part here that gets filled with water. And so you turn it on as it boils. It creates a steam that steams up through to this. And I'll show you the middle section. Has this nifty hole in it. And so the steam comes up through there, steams up into the basket, and then the fruit expels its juice and goes into this reservoir part, and then it comes out the hose, and there's a clamp that goes on here. This clampy thing, so I just took it off for washing it, but and then I can just put that right into my jars and then can it. So it works really, really nifty. So Jackie, you live where free apples are everywhere on your walks. Oh, nice. Yes, I would definitely, if you can, while you're walking, bring a basket or a backpack or something, and just throw some apples in there and collect them as you go. It was a little over $100. It was something, like I said, it wasn't I've been thinking about it for years, actually, like 20 years. I've been wanting to get one of those. So it wasn't just a spur of the moment decision. It came about, I was able to get it, and the Lord provided. So I was able to get that, which was really, really good. So it was kind of one of those little, treats to myself, I guess you could say. But thanks, Alicia. You feel like that is the right size to steam veggies for your family? Yeah, absolutely. You could do that too, Sarah. Yeah, you could just use it as a regular steamer. You wouldn't have to juice it. Hey, Christy, hello. So we have it out there. The rabbits have been busy. Oh my goodness, my yard is so full of rabbit tracks. I mean, it's like they packed it almost all down. So it's great. You had a white out here in the upper, the UP of Michigan. It's gone already. Well, Chad, we have 9 inches of snow here and another inch or 2 over the weekend. So probably about half of it has melted away. So, yay, Patty, I'm so glad you got an Excalibur. Super. Hey, Carl, hello. So your mother-in-law had Gulf-size hail and tornado warnings on Friday. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, the weather's just been wild. So what else do I have left to preserve? I still have to go through my onions. About a third of my bulb onions that I grew are sprouting, and so I've got to cut those up and freeze them at this point. I've got the carrots yet to preserve. They're all in the refrigerator, but I want to do stuff with them. They're just in a big bag, so I need to take care of those. I'm going to can some, and I'm going to ferment some. So I'll have to figure that out. I also have my butternut squash, and here's one of them. things were so big. I mean, it's like look at this. This butternut squash. I have, I think, seven or nine of them, something like that. Now this is the biggest one, but the others are like within. And this is 12, good 12 inches long, but I am going to, oh, not all dirty. What do we have here? Yeah, family size. There you go. There's a family size one. I make such a delicious butternut squash soup that I absolutely love. So I'm probably do that with a couple of them. The rest, I think I'm just going to chunk them up and can them. So I have those already cooked that I could, make some soup from. So those are the things that I have left to do. But the apples, there's so many different things, so many different ways we can preserve them. I was starting to make a list and I had like 6 or 7 things. And then I went online, found this website, and it's like there are 12 ways to preserve. And so here's the link there. Butternut squash, cooked one the other day, 2 hours in the oven. It does. I actually cut mine in quarters and put them in the Instant Pot. And within 18 minutes, they're cooked. And I do let it do a natural release because that helps to just cook them a little bit longer. And then, and then I just either peel them right off or scoop everything right out of it and then go on to make my soup. I think I have a video filmed for that, so I have to get to that. But you guys, I just been so backed up on everything in life. And then with winter coming early last week, I still have so many videos to get to, so I thank you for your patience. Oh my goodness. I feel so badly that I can't get to them. But can you can apple crisp? Asking for a friend. I would say probably not. It wouldn't be crispy, that's for sure. You can do the filling, like this apple pie filling, and then just put that in a pan and put your crisp on it because you want it to be crisp, So I know, Alicia, these things are tough to cut. It's like I need this huge meat cleaver to do that. So thanks, Karen. So anyway, the 12 different ways to preserve apples it's really kind of crazy. It's amazing the different things that I found out we could do. Of course, canning the apples, just doing regular slices, canning them up in like a light sugar syrup type thing so that they're all ready to go for whatever you want to use them for. And then you can do, of course, an apple pie filling with that, like I did here. But if you have like crab apples, tart crab apples, because they're so small, you could possibly try canning them whole. You have to make sure, I don't think crab apples have pits in them, do they? I don't think so. Am I missing some here? Sometimes this doesn't move. Okay. Then, of course, applesauce. Crab apples are not edible. Not just by themselves, like picking them off the tree. They're extremely tart, and they'll give you a bellyache right away. But you can take the crab apples and you can make crabapple jelly from them. You can make crabapple juice and syrup and combine them with other juices like regular apple juice, that type of thing, and do all kinds of things with them. They are, okay, that's what I was thinking, Sean. Thank you. Thanks, Patty. So you could can those whole if you wanted to save them for another time of the year to make crabapple jelly or or anything else that you would want with that. Yeah, I wouldn't try eating them straight. Red currant and crabapple jelly this year. Oh, that'd be a great combo. Oh, yes, Alicia, and there's some more things that you guys are going to find out. They're just so awesome. Okay, applesauce. You can make applesauce with them. You can do a chunky applesauce. You can do it in the crock pot, in the Instant Pot. You can do it on the stove top. There are many, many different ways to make your applesauce. There's even caramel applesauce or maple syrup applesauce. I mean, because you usually put in some sugar into the applesauce recipe, and so you can do honey, you can do maple syrup, you can do other things in there. But yeah, caramel apple, I think you would probably add brown sugar in there and stuff like that. So make you hungry, I know. Crab apples are excellent laxatives. Yes, if you eat them right off the tree. Yes. So I said it would give you a bellyache really quickly. Hey, Bub, thanks for coming in. Then you can make apple jelly or jam. You can make apple butter, which is what I'm in the process of making. Really, it's applesauce with cinnamon, cloves, allspice, some sugar in there, and you're just cooking it down to it's thicker. And then we'll just take my immersion blender and then get it really, really super creamy. I mean, right now it's very, very creamy already, but it just kind of adds a little bit. And it's a darker color because of the spices you add to it and cooking it down. So you used to make Gravenstein applesauce? Gravenstein, no sugar apple. Okay, yep. You know, I think it depends on the kind of apples you get too. When I make applesauce, I rarely ever add sugar to it. Just don't. I didn't add any to my juice, and it says you can add a lot to your juice, and I just don't. I really enjoy the apple flavor itself, and you know, you don't need that much sugar in your life for one thing. So apple butter, you could do a spiced apple butter or maple apple butter. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. Okay, there's one that I'm going to come back to in more detail. It's apple pectin. You can make your own pectin. Cooks, canners, preservers, you can make your own pectin. And I have a whole nother website on that that's going to be, it was like, okay, I knew apples were very high in pectin, and I know that you can use apple juice for thickening things up, you know, if you're doing like a blueberry jam or different things like that. Hey, Sandy, hello. Thank you for coming. You know, and they're very, very high in pectin, but I know that you can actually make a liquid pectin and can it. And it's going to be so cool. I'm going to try that next year. You can make apple salsa. You can actually make an apple salsa verde with your tomatillos. Or you can make a tomato-based apple salsa. Another one for chutneys. Get apple and caramelized onion chutney. There's a bunch of other chutneys there too. But apple is usually the base for a lot of chutneys. And a chutney is really just like a very ingredient heavy, almost a relish type of thing, but there's like fruits and nuts and stuff like that in there. So you got all that in there. All right, and then fermenting apples. So many different ways that you can ferment them. Last year I did one, it was a recipe from Homesteading Family, and they, yeah, chunky relish, there you go. It was apples, carrots, and cranberries, and then some seasonings in there. It was like a 3-day ferment. It was so amazing. And so if you wanted to have that to serve for the holidays coming up and stuff like that, that would be, oh, so I have all my carrots in the garden. So a number of them are going to go into fermenting. So as soon as the cranberries come out, which shouldn't be too much longer, I haven't really looked in the store for them at all yet, but I'm hoping that they come out. So, but fermented apples are super rich in probiotics. You could do a sweet and sour cinnamon apple. There's also Russian brined apples. You can even make fermented applesauce. So, like kvass. Your son is recovering from kidney removal surgery from cancer. We're way in the past. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sandy. I'll definitely keep him in my prayers. If you could give me his first name, that would be wonderful. Yeah, that's... I know cancer has hit our family too really heavily, and so I totally get it. Greg, all right. I have a brother, Greg, too, so... Lady Apple Kombucha. Ooh, that sounds good. I did make some kombucha maybe a month ago with apple juice base, and it was pretty good. There were a few fruits that I didn't care for the combination with them, but otherwise it turned out really, really good. Thanks, Kiri. Then you can freeze the apples. So those are different ways of canning and the different things you can ferment and can and stuff. So now you can freeze apples. It's best to put them in a lemon juice or a saltwater bath first, which will keep them from browning. You can leave the skins on, cut them into wedges and everything. You can, and then just strain everything, put them in a freezer bag, pop them in the, put them in the freezer. You could freeze the apple pie filling. So if you make all this and then freeze it in a bag or something, you can put all that in. Yeah, if you leave the skins on, I mean, you can peel them first, but if you leave the skins on, they will peel off easily when you thaw them out. All right. This is a tip that I think is just so amazing. It's so great. This is where I love reading other people's blogs and stuff and find out what they do. She said, freezing the apple pie filling. If you freeze it into the shape of your pie pan, then you can have an apple pie ready to bake in no time. So you take it out and it's already in the shape of the pie pan, and you just like put it right into the crust and go. I mean, you'd have to thaw it out, of course, but I mean, it's just like, oh, that's so great, because then you know exactly how much needs to go in there. So I thought that was kind of cool. Then we can go on to dehydrating your apples. So making like apple rings. You can core them. You don't have to core them. A lot of them will leave the core in because you get this little star shape, you see the seeds and everything, but they become apple chips, or you can, do them in halves or quarters or something, core them in, and then have quarters and have apple chips. They're amazing snack throughout the year. So these are things like if you have like a dozen apple trees on your property and you're like, I don't know what to do with all these apples, it's like, oh, because you get overwhelmed. It's like, oh man, you can only make so much apple pie filling or applesauce or whatever. And it's like, all these things are so great. You can make cinnamon apple rings. You can make apple fruit leather. You can even make, where did I find this one? There was a, let me see, here we go. Apple sugar. So you can actually dehydrate the apples and then grind them up and have apple sugar, because it's already, sweet stuff. Apples are already sweet. So it's like, yeah, make apple people. Yes, I remember those, Patty. We would carve the faces in the apple and then put them in the oven, and they would shrink all up and be these little old wrinkled people that we all look like now. It's like, some with big noses and some with, no teeth, of course. It was so funny. And then you can like glue some hair on them or something like that. So You froze apples for pies this fall. Oh, awesome, Sandy. That's so great. Yeah, I love peaches too. I was able to get some peaches and I canned them. So in school we did stamping with apples and paint. Yes. yes. So making your own apple sugar. I mean, like what a great source of expanding your stores of sweet things that you need available. I mean, maple syrup, you can make maple sugar. You have coconut sugar that you can make. You have, or at least buy, you can have, now apple sugar. And there's so many things you can get other than having to get the processed white sugar in the store. And I think that would be so great. Yes, dried apples are good in potpourri too. Very much so. Hey, Dawn. Hello. Then, of course, apple juice, which I made this morning, or cider. I did not get a chance. I meant to research on what exactly is the difference between juice and cider. And really, from what I understand, there's really nothing that's different. Most apple juices at this point in the store are super diluted, refined, and different things. You can get, right now, you can get jugs of apple cider, which are more brown in color because they're just the raw apples and everything else. So I don't know if it's the difference between diluting and refining it or having it raw is the difference between cider and juice. I'm not sure, but hey, Blue Healer, hello. Apple butter is your favorite. I have some cooking right now. String dried apples for wildlife too. Great idea for the birds outside. Awesome. Yeah, it does look like it's filtered. Although what I made today through my steamer, my steam juicer. Yeah, steam juicer. It was that kind of light golden color, and it's just beautiful. I mean, it's just like jars of gold. They're amazing. So, unfiltered raw cider is the best. We can get it here. You think the juice is cooked? Okay. So it really is. You're putting it in like a press and just juicing it out, and then you've got that raw juice. All right. So even when I'm steam juicing it here, there's still, it's kind of cooking the apples and getting it hot enough to come out and to juice it. So, I'm okay with that. I mean, it's organic juice from my apples, which is like still fun, and it tastes really, really good. So dehydrating, juice and cider. You can also make some hard apple cider. So you've got the juice or the cider. You just, you have to use some brewing yeast, but yeah, you can ferment it a little bit and becomes a little bit of hard cider there. Then you can make apple cider jelly and mulled apple cider or mulled hard cider. But mulled cider for the holidays is so delicious. Then from all the scraps and everything, you can make apple cider vinegar. You can do all of that. This one person made dried candy apples. She sprinkled red or green Jell-O powder over the apple slices after putting them on the dehydrating trays, and then dehydrating them there with the Jell-O kind of right into them, and so it became like a candy coating on there. So it was just pretty cool, pretty amazing. I want to share one story that I came across that, who knows, we might find ourselves in this situation. We don't know what's going to be coming up or anything, but it's such a beautiful story. And I think all of us who are homesteading really understand that this could be a possibility, and it's kind of why we do what we do and where we're at with what we're doing. So This person said, I grew up in Germany. After World War II, we had little to eat. Luckily, we had a large yard with many fruit trees, vegetables, hundreds of chickens, and other animals. All this just outside of Wiesbaden on a piece of land of about 5 acres. We had a 2-story house with a cold cellar under the house, which we used for storage of food. We had no refrigerator at that time. In the yard, we had several apple trees, and upon harvesting, my father stored them fresh on wooden grates about 5 feet high off the ground in the cellar. He placed them side by side so that they were easy to check in case they got rotten. As I mentioned, the cellar was cool. We had fresh apples throughout the winter until spring this way. They stored well. Of course, we went down into the cellar about once a week to pick out some of the apples which started to become bad. Those we cut up and cooked into various dishes. We also made apple cider and wine, so apple wine. But that's what they did. You know, they didn't have electricity. They didn't have refrigeration. They just had the root cellar. And it's interesting they put it on grates 5 feet high off the ground, because we think about putting them in grates and then just stacking them on the ground or whatever or something. But Judy, hello. Thanks so much. Hey, my sister. So that was like an amazing piece of information there, you know, that they harvested them right away. So that's kind of another thing, is to make sure that you pick them and then store them right away, whether it's in a root cellar or a refrigerator or something. If you can't do that, preserve them within a couple weeks. Otherwise, then they start going bad. So if you don't have trees, find someone who does and ask if you could pick some, or go to an apple orchard. And again, my favorite orchard, I will give you that link. It's called Applejack Orchards, but I always, with my kids, I always call it Happy Jacks. Because Applejack Orchards sound like the cereal. And I was like, I don't want the cereal. I want other stuff. But all right. Then we've got, I know Granny Karen had to go. I'm sorry, I missed her. If anybody else needs to go, I just want to thank my mods so much for all your work. Really, really appreciate that, and all your work and everything that you do. So fruit is gleaned for food banks and such. Okay, that's awesome that they do that. Okay, so we're talking about fruit pectin. I'm putting a link here, and I did have it in my first thing here, but there's a link for making fruit pectin and how to do it at home with that. So I'll quickly go through it. The thing is that you need to get the apples in the spring when they're still green. You know, if they start turning red and everything and start ripening, they lose a lot of their pectin. The highest pectin content is when they're still green. Crab apples, they're best when they first make their clusters and they're not on the tree for a long time or anything. So crab apples are actually highest in pectin than anything else. So making the pectin, okay, these ads are popping up. Okay, go away. Okay, so you need is about 3 pounds of unripe apples or crab apples, and wash them and quarter them. And then put enough water in the pot to cover the apples. You want to make sure that, yeah, they're washed. It's like you don't have to, because the seeds aren't fully mature and they don't carry the toxins in them that, and I can't remember what it is. I think it's a carcinogen in the ripe apple seeds or something. That's why you don't want to eat them. But immature apples don't have that in there. So if the seeds are in there, it's fine. And then you have a couple tablespoons of lemon juice, bottled lemon juice with that. And you just, okay. So you wash them, cut them into quarters. Oh yeah, no need to remove the young seeds or the skin, as these items also contain a natural source of pectin. Put them in a large stock pot, uncovered, bring the mixture to a hard boil. Boil for 15 minutes, reduce it to a low boil, and cook for an additional 2 hours or so. During the cooking process, do not stir the apples. Doing so will release sediments into the liquid, making it difficult to strain. Once the mixture has reduced to half, test the apple mixture for the level of pectin. And this website has all that in there. And then you strain them with a cheesecloth into a fine mesh strainer. Do not press the apples. Doing so will create a cloudy pectin full of fine apple sediment. And if you have cloudy pectin, you can have cloudy jams or jellies or something. Once you get all of that strained and everything, boil the clear pectin again for about 20 minutes and then can it. And then you get these beautiful jars of pectin. And then there's always instructions for how to use them and everything. So I think that is just an amazingly cool thing to do. So do they ship? Dawn, I'm not sure. Here, let me give you the link again. So check that out, and you can. They've got a store on there, so I'm not sure. They do. I know they're doing a pickup service now, so you don't have to go into the store if you don't want to. I don't know if they ship. They've got a full store of all kinds of Apple products and everything. Thank you, Patty. Thank you. And I know we're going over a little bit, but we did start a little bit later. Hey, Rosework, thank you for coming. I really appreciate that. Quince is another high pectin fruit related to apples and pears. The rose hips have much pectin. I don't know. And like I said, the apples, the older they get, the closer they get to getting ripe, the pectin rate goes way down. So when they first develop on the tree, that's when you would want to pick them, which is kind of nice to know. If you have a tree that's got a lot of apples and you know you need to do some pectin, go in and like relegate a certain amount of the tree to be, okay, these are going to be our pectin apples. And then you have your own pectin, and you don't have to worry about running, the store running out of pectin when you're trying to make jellies and stuff. So, all right, Sean, awesome. And I will try to get back in there and put these in the notes below the video. So, hey, Wendy, thanks. Wendy, you were such a, oh my goodness, your adventures in Oklahoma. Holy cow. Hey, Monty's in motion. Thank you for coming. Yes, we are just about done. But let me make sure I've got everything covered here. Yeah, all the different ways to, okay, our garden tip for tonight. Winterize your soil. So loosen it, first of all, with a garden fork, just to get things loosened up a little bit. Add a layer of compost and then cover it well with mulch. And that'll get you really good and ready for next spring. A prep tip, you guys do that this week. Please do that this week. Do a quick review of your food and supplies that you have stored. find any areas that you're lacking in and try to get them this week before the election, because we don't know what's going to happen after that. I'm not putting out fear at all, but it's just, you're hearing it everywhere. It's like you just don't know what is going to be running out of. So I'd rather have you guys feeling good about where you're at with the things that you need than, have another situation like we had last spring. And so you guys awesome drops. Super. Yes, I know. Thank you, Alicia, for praying for us. It's, you guys, we all have to pray really hard this week about, because it doesn't matter which way it's going to go. Our country is in not in good shape here. So I think the part of Oklahoma is only getting thunderstorms. Oh, good. Yes. Hopefully in a few days my snow will be melted. We'll see. We're going to be down in the single digits, I think, tonight, and then upward from there. So you guys, thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And figures drops. Figures. Yes, it behooves to be vigilant. Absolutely. So you guys take care. God bless. Always have hope. And we will see you here next Monday night. And I am so grateful to all of you for being here and for coming. And thank you for listening to me ramble on about apples. So even after all the years, though, that I've been doing it, it's like I still learned some new stuff. So much love to all of you guys, too. So good night and take care. Have a great week.